Welcome to part 2 of choosing your curriculum. I apologize that I had to I had to make this in 2 parts. I did want to mention from the last video with the reading curriculum, I've heard a lot of really great things about Sunlight curriculum, and I know that it is a little pricier though, so I do want to give you that little warning about that curriculum. But everything that they learn is based on a book, so it's all literature based. The other curriculum I wanted to talk about was Math UC. It is a very popular homeschool math program. You'll see it out there a lot. You can find it all the time on Craigslist, so make sure you check there first before you go buy a brand new set of Math UC curriculum. And I've heard really great things about that, although I have not had the chance to use that curriculum. So I would love to hear what you find out from using that curriculum. For social studies, I did a couple different things. Well, with the Heart of Dakota curriculum I purchased this year, it comes with its own social studies type of curriculum. Last year we used a book called The Story of the World. And this is written from a Christian perspective, I believe. I'm almost positive it is. Let's see. Yes, it is written from a Christian perspective. And each week you have a certain topic to study, and there's so much stuff for you to actually do. There's no way you could get through one of these sections in a week, but you could pick a topic and you could study it and maybe just pick certain parts out of it and do that for a week. But it comes with maybe like 4 to 5 projects, I want to say, per topic. So this was a very this was a huge book. We stopped, let's see, here in the book. So, well, wait a minute, those are maps. I'm sorry, we stopped there in the book, and it's, that was a lot for us. That was a ton of reading and work that my kids did. So, please know that if you buy something like this, you can probably use it for a couple years. This is good for kids kindergarten through 5th grade. So you could actually use this for several years to send into your school district. The price tag on the back says it was $22. So, and it's a pretty thick book full of maps and everything else. So I felt like that was a pretty good purchase. I also purchased this book. It's just an encyclopedia of world history. I purchased it for $6.99, and the reason I bought this book was just because there were so many topics in the history book I just showed you that I did not know anything about. So it was really good for me to kind of go through and read this before I taught the kids what they were supposed to be learning. It kind of complemented everything that the book talked about, the Story of the World curriculum talked about. So, this is always a good addition to your homeschool library, just because if you have questions or your kids have questions, these books are full of pictures and they're very descriptive. We will be doing a lot of social studies curriculum in our co-op, so I don't know that you necessarily need to purchase a huge curriculum for that, because your child should get most of the concepts they need to learn for the year. Science is always my favorite, because science is one of those things that you can learn just by going outside. There's so many field trips that you can meet with different science standards with. The curriculum I purchased last year is written by, I think it's Apologia who puts this out, and this is their books on chemistry. And so you'll see that it's written for a beginning reader. So there are lots of pictures in here, and at the end of each section there's also a science experiment for you to try out that'll teach you different chemistry concepts. They have that for chemistry, astronomy, and they also have physics. I believe there are a couple others in that series. This year we're going to be using some stuff from this curriculum, and it's God's Creation series, and each part of the book is based on creation. So God created the firmament, and you learn about what is the firmament, how God created the sky. Then we're going to learn about clouds, and we're going to do weather charts, and that's going to teach us about, you know, what happened when God made the sky. And then there's rocks, and we're going to learn about rocks, but all of it goes back to creation. So I really thought that this was a cool book in the way that it was set up. So that's another part of science curriculum. Really fast, there are so many different Bible curriculums that you can purchase online for free. Bible is not something you need to be able to submit to your school district. You can even use, if your church has a Bible curriculum like I know our church has, you can just use stuff from that your kids get sent home with each week as your Bible curriculum. However, going through the school year, the kids really wanted more, so we decided to purchase a curriculum called The Dig, and it's very short and sweet. So each lesson is kind of set up like this. It has a couple verses for you to learn, and then it has some passages for you to read, has questions, and then it has some key ideas at the bottom. Then when you've read for, I believe it's 6 days, then it has something called an Oasis activity, and that may be something as simple as coloring a picture or drawing something. It also has a kind of quiz time. My kids loved when I got to this point because I would ask them the questions, and then they would get an M&M if they got it right, or some small little piece of candy like that. So that made it Bible time really fun. Now, I supplemented with several different things, just workbooks and things that I'd found last year. So please remember as you're looking around, I know I mentioned the dollar section at Target before, but I found these great workbooks there. These are on reading comprehension for 2nd and 3rd graders. They had United States workbook, addition workbook, science project workbook, phonics 1 workbook, and rhyme time workbook. And they had all those great flashcards too. I also purchased this book last year, Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. I kind of thought this was boring, but I've met people who think that this is like the ultimate instruction manual on how to teach your child to read. I didn't feel like it really worked for us because Ashlyn got really bored with it, but it is something that you may want to keep in your back pocket, and if you think, you might want to try it with your child, then there's that as well. It's written by Siegfried Engelmann, and again, this is another half-price books buy, so we will be using this a little bit this year. It's called First Language Lessons for a Well-Trained Mind, and it's just going to go through and introduce grammar concepts such as proper nouns, common nouns, what a verb is, what a noun is, just different types of things like that, how to use initials for the different months of the year, and it is very explicit. You'll see it even says instructor, student, instructor, and they have what you're supposed to actually be saying. I hope that has kind of given you an idea of some of the different curriculums that are available. If you start researching it, you will find that there are millions of different types of curriculum out there, and it's very overwhelming. Everyone has something that's a little bit different, things that are newer or older, and if you talk to different homeschool parents, you'll find that everyone has something that they think is the best. So just take your time and try to find something that's going to work for you, that's going to be a good buy, and something that you're going to be able to use for at least a year, possibly 2, maybe even 3 if you get lucky. And again, if you have any questions or you're just curious about what a curriculum looks like and you want to look at it more in depth, please let me know, and I would be more than happy to share what I have with you. I think that pretty much addresses the curriculum for this video. Again, if you have more questions, let me know. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night, and can't wait to hear what you think of this video.